Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a movie called Into the Night. So relax, watch the recap, and be blessed. A strange beginning. The story opens at Brussels airport. We meet Terenzio, a frantic Italian officer who's clearly not just another late traveler. He's sweating, nervous, and demanding a ticket for any flight headed west. When he learns the next available departure is 2 hours away, he still buys it. Not because he wants to fly, but because he needs access to the gates. At the same time, across the terminal, a popular influencer named Ines is video chatting with a friend in New York. Suddenly, her friend collapses live on camera. Ines is horrified, helpless, and doesn't understand what's happening. Moments later, TV screens across the airport show live broadcasts where anchors suddenly faint on air. On the streets outside, entire crowds drop lifeless. People assume it's a bizarre hoax. Everyone except Terenzio. He knows it's real. That's when he makes his move. He rushes past security, snatches a guard's weapon, and storms onto a plane about to depart for Moscow. The hijack. Inside the cabin, passengers are still boarding when Terenzio barges in, waving the gun. He demands the flight take off immediately. The crew, stunned, can't comply. The captain isn't even on board yet, leaving only co-pilot Matthew, who refuses to cooperate with the gunman. A struggle breaks out in the cockpit. A shot is fired, badly injuring Matthew's hand. With the co-pilot wounded and the passengers terrified, Terenzio yells for anyone who can fly. That's when Sylvie, a retired military helicopter pilot, steps forward. She's not trained for commercial aircraft, but with Matthew's help, they manage to get the plane in the air. Unbeknownst to them, the bullet damaged the avionics, cutting them off from ground control. They are completely alone. The deadly secret. Once airborne, the passengers demand answers. Who is this man, and why is he forcing them west? Terenzio finally explains. He's a NATO officer, and he overheard something horrifying. The sun has become lethal. Wherever daylight touches, people collapse and die instantly. Japan, Korea, and other Eastern nations have already been wiped out. Sunrise is death, and the only way to survive is to keep flying west, outrunning the daylight. At first, everyone thinks he's insane. But when Matthew tries to land in Iceland, the truth becomes undeniable. The runways are jammed with wrecked planes, survivors are running in chaos, and no control towers respond. The passengers realize Terenzio was right. Rising tensions. Fear takes hold inside the cabin. Matthew's hand is in bad shape, and with no medical supplies, Laura, a nurse caring for an elderly dementia patient, steps up. She uses a heated knife to cauterize his wound in a painful, desperate procedure while the others look on in shock. Meanwhile, suspicion grows. Ayaz, a sharp, calculating man, doesn't fully trust the story. During a confrontation, he manages to steal Terenzio's gun and lock him in the lavatory. The hijacker's control is broken, but his warning about the sunrise lingers in everyone's mind. The group continues west, aiming for Scotland. They land just in time, finding airports abandoned, phones buzzing with last messages from loved ones. Reports confirm that even underground bunkers aren't safe. The sun's radiation seeps everywhere. Humanity is on the brink. The RAF men. At the Scottish airbase, the survivors encounter 3 supposed RAF servicemen who offer to help. With sunrise only minutes away, the group quickly refuels and stocks up before taking off again. But things aren't as they seem. News reports reveal the soldiers are actually Afghan prisoners being transported. Soon after, violence breaks out and an elderly passenger is killed. Distrust shatters what little unity the group had. Still, the plane pushes onward, now aiming for Canada. New dangers. During the flight, tragedy continues. One passenger who had swallowed diamonds dies, exposing Ayaz as a smuggler. Though despised, his cunning proves useful in survival. The journey itself grows increasingly perilous. A terrorist clings to the landing gear mid-flight. A cracked window threatens to explode under pressure. The terminally ill boy Dominic struggles to breathe after losing his medical tube. Each crisis tests the group, forcing reluctant cooperation. Even Ayaz earns temporary respect when he risks himself to save Dominic with a makeshift oxygen device. Scientific revelation. Among the passengers is Horst, a climatologist. When strange, tasteless fruit is discovered, he develops a chilling theory. The sun's polarity has reversed more violently than ever before, bombarding Earth with deadly gamma radiation. This explains why people die instantly in sunlight, and why food itself is losing its nutritional structure. Humanity's survival window is rapidly closing. Betrayals and choices. As paranoia grows, leadership is questioned. Terenzio resents Matthew's authority. Others demand democracy. They agree to vote on major decisions, but unity is fragile. In Canada, the passengers abandon the disguised terrorists, but Gabrielle, the devoted flight attendant, becomes separated and left behind. The group lifts off without her, a haunting loss that weighs heavily. Ayaz, meanwhile, confesses his smuggling scheme, nearly getting executed by the group before they reluctantly keep him alive. A flicker of hope. Radio chatter suddenly connects them with a cosmonaut in orbit, still alive, communicating with a NATO base. The word Stera-17 repeats, hinting at a secret bunker. This discovery shifts their goal. Return to Brussels, find NATO headquarters, and uncover the bunker's location. But Matthew, weakened by infection from his untreated wound, collapses. Laura insists surgery is needed, but only Sylvie is capable of landing the plane. With nothing but training videos and determination, she takes the controls. The landing is rough, chaotic, but successful. Against all odds, Sylvie earns the group's admiration. The final push. Time is short. The survivors split into teams. One searches NATO headquarters with Terenzio. Another rushes Matthew to a hospital. Others scavenge fuel and supplies. At NATO, Rick uncovers recordings confirming Stera-17 is indeed a bunker beneath a Bulgarian dam. But tension erupts when Terenzio clashes with Ayaz, leaving the smuggler gravely injured. With sunrise minutes away, the group reunites, boards the plane, and races toward Bulgaria, the dam, and the bunker. Upon arrival, chaos strikes again. Ayaz suffers seizures from blood loss, causing a crash. The group splits across two separate routes to the dam. At the gates, an electrified barrier blocks their path. To redeem himself, Terenzio volunteers to hold the switch, keeping it open for the others. Sylvie handcuffs him in place, ensuring he can't escape. One by one, the survivors make it inside, greeted by armed soldiers, finally safe. But outside, Terenzio remains chained at the gate. As dawn breaks, he whispers a final prayer, turns to face the rising sun, and is consumed.